Risottos are a wonderful way to utilise seasonal ingredients. Today we're going to be doing a really nice cultivated Scottish mushroom risotto. So the ingredients we've got for our risotto, we've got some nice finely diced shallots, we've got some arborio rice, some shiitake mushrooms, some button mushrooms and some nice chestnut mushrooms. So to start the risotto we need some nice finely diced shallot. To dice the shallot nice and finely, first we've peeled a shallot, we've left the root on the shallot, and then we've just peeled the outer skin off. All we're going to do to start the process is just finely slice between the natural grains or lines that are on that shallot. So I take a nice sharp knife and very carefully slice through the shallot. When I'm slicing through, I'm following the natural grains or lines and I'm just slicing between each one. I'm leaving it about ½ centimetre from the root of the onion, which keeps all the structural integrity and stops the onion falling apart on the chopping board when you're dicing it. To finish the process, we go straight through the middle of the shallot. And again, we've still got that structural integrity because we've left the root on there. Any little straggly bits, I just pop them to the side, and then all we're going to do to get it nice and fine is just chop through the shallot. Now we've got a shallot nice and finely diced, we're just going to quickly sweat that shallot off. So I'm going to take a little touch of some olive oil, and I'm going to take a little touch of some unsalted butter in there as well. The reason I'm using the two is that the butter is going to give you that lovely richness at the end of the risotto. Also at this stage I'm looking for an excess of fat in that pan because, you know, laterally after we've sweated the shallot, we're going to pop the rice in there, we're going to coat that rice and all that fat that's in the pan, and that's going to stop the rice sticking. So the shallot can go straight in there. And as I say, it's roughly going to take you around about 30 seconds to a minute, as long as you've got that shallot really nice and finely diced. And all we're looking for, we're not looking for any colour on that shallot, we're just looking for the shallot to go nice and translucent. It's an indication it's lost all its water and we've got to the flavour that's in that shallot. The next ingredients we're going to pop into the risotto is, of course, very important. It's our rice. We're using arborio rice today, and again, whenever we're using the arborio rice for a risotto, we never wash the rice. And again, the arborio you'll find in the supermarkets quite readily. So the rice can go in, and at this stage, all we're going to do is just sweat those grains of rice off and cover it in all that excess fat that was in the pan. And this is going to stop the rice sticking together in the cooking process. And again, a critical control point for me with a risotto is always stir that risotto, always agitate that rice. And that's going to guarantee you that really lovely starchy, gooey sauce at the end that everyone loves about a risotto. This rice is nicely toasted off now in that pan. We've covered it in all those lovely fats again, which is going to translate all the flavour for us and stop it sticking. Next thing we're going to add into that is our vegetable stock, and again we're using a nice low salt vegetable stock that we've just diluted in some hot water. Whenever I'm doing the risottos, it's always crucially important that we do use a hot stock for the method. So I've either got nice hot stock freshly made, or I've got a pan of stock just boiling away at the back behind the risotto. And as I say, crucially important that we're using hot stock, because every time we add the cold stock to that pan, the pan's going to cool down. We're going to very slowly incorporate this stock into the risotto, constantly stirring, constantly agitating the rice that's in there. And every time that risotto's absorbed that ladle full of stock that we pop in there, we're going to add the next ladle and start the process time and time until that rice is cooked to perfection. So adding a small ladle full at a time, it's roughly going to take you 1 minute to 2 minutes just to get each ladle to incorporate into that risotto. So that's the rice cooked in the risotto now. I always like to check the rice. I just take a clean spoon and just have a little taste of the rice. I'm looking for the rice to be nice and puffed up, and I'm also looking for the rice just to have that slight bite to it, but I'm not looking for it to be grainy on the palate. Now that rice is cooked, I'm going to move it just quickly to the side. I'm going to take a non-stick frying pan and we're going to pop that onto the heat with a little touch of olive oil or sunflower oil at your preference, and all we're going to do is just cook off the mushrooms that we spoke about earlier. So we've got some nice shiitake mushrooms, we've got some nice button mushrooms, and some nice chestnut mushrooms, and they should all just be nice and finely sliced, ready to go into the hot pan. So my oil in my pan's nice and hot now. I'm just going to pop a handful of each mushroom into the pan all at the same time. And we're just going to very quickly sweat them off in the pan, getting rid of any of the moisture that's in there and really hyphenating that mushroom flavour. So I'm going to pop a little touch of seasoning in there to help bring those flavours out. And we're going to keep that pan moving either with a spoon, or you can give the pan a little toss as well, just to keep those mushrooms from sticking to the bottom. So the mushrooms have been cooking for 2 to 3 minutes now. They're nice and wilted down. We're going to pop them into our risotto, and we're just going to stir them through the risotto with a nice and warm, ready to go. Tons of flavour and colour. So to finish the risotto off in the pan, I'm going to take a nice handful of the finely grated parmesan and just stir and fold that through with around about a tablespoon of some finely chopped herbs. I've got some chives. You can use any herb that you want, and we're just going to fold all those ingredients through before we serve. Our risotto is now finished, nice and warm, ready to go. So to serve, I'm just going to take a nice spoonful of the risotto in a warm bowl. And then to garnish, some nice rocket leaves and a sprinkle of some parmesan shavings over the top. And there's our nice mushroom risotto served, ready to go. And of course, risottos are a wonderful way to utilise any seasonal ingredients, whether it be summer, spring, autumn or winter. And an even better way to utilise any leftovers, from cherry tomatoes, fish, some broccoli that's left over, or even some roast chicken.